Kia ora whānau. Hope you guys are having a fabulous Sunday on a really unusual, bright, fine day here in Auckland. Yeah, so today I thought I'm going to try the Thermobliss apple and cinnamon scrolls. Now, I came across this recipe simply because I have a whole lot of Granny Smith apples and I thought I had to use them up. And I started Googling recipes and I thought, oh, that sounds really nice. Now, this is a manual cook. So what I've got here in front of me is my recipe. So it's not going to be guided cooking. We're going to do a complete manual cook, and I thought I'd take you guys along for the ride with me. So yeah, I got a little bit of a sweet tooth and thought I'd give them a try. And I really like the combination of a nice tart Granny Smith apple and a cinnamon butter. I think it's just going to be really nice. So here we go, let's start cooking. So following the recipe, I have got my oven preheating to 210 degrees and I have lightly greased my 20 centimetre baking. So I'm using a spring form here, obviously from the mix shop, but you don't have to use spring form if you don't want to. So here we go. So the first step is we're going to make the base. Now this base doesn't have a yeast base. It's more like a scone base. So it's a nice quick recipe. So I'm just going to pop into my scales, and I've got my ingredients pre-weighed, but I always like to double check. So into here I'm going to drop 90 grams of cold butter that's been chopped. And then we're going to do 300 grams of self-raising flour. Now, I don't believe in self-raising flour, so what I'm going to do is just use regular flour and also going to throw in some baking powder. So I'm going to tare my scales. And the golden rule of thumb is you have 1 teaspoon of baking powder to 200 grams of flour. So I'm going to start by weighing in 200 grams. And I've never made this recipe before, so yeah, nothing like a live cook when you've not tried it before. So here's my 200 grams, so I'm going to put on my teaspoon of baking powder. And that goes. Then going to put in the rest of my 300 grams. And then I'll put in another, oh, that was a good shot, Simon. Then I'm going to put in another half teaspoon of baking powder. And there goes. So that's 90 grams of very cold butter cubed and 300 grams of self-raising, or in my case, regular flour. And I drop on the lid. And following the instructions, we're going to mix that for 10 seconds at speed 5. So I'm going to pop back to manual mode. Going to go to 5 seconds, sorry, 10 seconds. I'll do it right, Simon. 10 seconds at speed number 5. Cool. And away we go. Hey Ruth, how's whanga day today? It's a beautiful day here in Auckland. Even if you are walking, it's lovely to see you. Yeah, if you guys want the recipe for this, all you have to do is Google Thermomix apple and cinnamon scrolls or Thermobliss apple cinnamon scrolls. So that's our first round. And we're going to do this according to the recipe. We're going to do this another 2 times. So we're going to do another 10 seconds, speed 5. And I guess just like a scone, what we're going to do is just make sure that butter is evenly distributed throughout our flour. Oh, Sharon, cold. That's not good. I'm in a t-shirt today. How about that? First time in about a week I haven't been in long sleeves. I have to tell you guys, the one issue with a black machine now is that, yeah, if you do happen to spill flour on it, everyone sees. But I'm sure I just got away with that. You guys did not see me doing that. So that's our second round. Oh, we got a lovely nice chop there. So I'm just going to scrape it down. Actually, I don't actually think it needs another one, but I will follow the recipe anyway, because this is my first time doing it. So on the lid goes. One more lot of 10 seconds at speed number 5. And that way at least I know I'll follow the recipe. Overcast. I'm actually enjoying some fine weather today. It's quite nice. Okay. Oh yeah. So what we've got now is just a beautiful fine consistency, and our butter is really nicely just brought into it. So the next step is we're going to knead for 1 minute while we're pouring in 150 grams of milk through the lid. Now, as you guys will know, if you have got a TM7 already, the lid is slightly different in that it's actually not got a hole in it. It's got like this little piece of plastic. So the milk might be a little bit longer to go in the bowl, but we'll see how we go. So I'm going to go back, go into my blades, go into dough mode. I'm going to set it for 1 minute. And I've already got my milk pre-weighed. So this is my 150 grams. Hi Bev, welcome along. So what I've done so far, I've put in my 90 grams of cold butter cubed, 300 grams of self-raising flour, and I've just chopped that down to a nice consistency. The recipe says does it for 10 seconds, speed 5, and you do it 3 times. So I've just done that. Now I'm going into dough kneading mode, and I'm going to pour in 150 grams of milk while we're running dough kneading. Just double check my recipe here, guys. Your 150 grams, it says full cream milk is best. Okay, so here we go. And you guys will already know this, but the TM7 is just exceptionally quiet. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's actually in dough kneading mode at the moment. Oh, look at that, the milk just actually flows in really, really well. Even though we don't have an open hole in the lid, it works really well. So obviously you have to pre-weigh your milk to do this. So 27 seconds to go. I don't know if you can hear that. 17 seconds to go, so I'll put in the last of my milk. Just like that. Okay, so following the instructions, what we're going to do now is in a lightly floured bench or thermomat, roll the dough into form a 5mm rectangle. Let's see what we got. Okay. So it's kind of crumbly, but it's nicely pulling together. So I'm just going to get my dough mat out and put that in there. So what I might do to give me a little bit more room, I'll just shift my machine. Just like that. Now I'm not too sure, it doesn't say to flour, so I'm assuming that everything is all good. And again, if you've got a TM7, you'll know that the base of the spatula here is actually used to twist your blade. So it just makes it a bit easier to get any sticky dough or anything else out. Okay. And just a little bit trapped under the blade. There you go, nice and easy. So, following the instructions, I'm just going to pull this together. It is actually quite a, I'm going to use the word moist. It's quite a damp dough. So I have a feeling what I might need to do is just throw just a little bit of flour on here, and a little bit on the tops when I'm rolling it. It's not going to stick and fall apart. Now, because we are making a scroll, what we're going to do is roll the dough up with the filling. So we are just want to make sure that it doesn't tear or rip on the way through. Okay, here we go. Love to know if any of you guys are going to make this recipe. It is actually quite a nice dough. The first time I saw this recipe, I thought, you can't do this in 30 minutes. But of course I didn't realise it didn't have yeast in it. So, yeah. And I'm also going to change the recipe a little bit. For those of you who join me on live regularly, you'll know that's highly unusual for me. And I'll show you what I'm going to do shortly. Okay, almost there. I find that if I flip and turn the dough regularly as I'm rolling it, it makes it a lot easier when it comes just to rolling it up into a scroll. Now this does make 10 scrolls, so if you did want to make a bigger batch, it would be quite easy because it doesn't actually take up that much room in the Thermomix bowl. So I imagine you could quite easily double the mixture and not have any issues with capacity. Now I'm trying to make this as rectangle as possible. Just like that. The reason I do that is just because it makes the end pieces a lot nicer rather than having it like an oval shaped one. Hey Kelly! Hey Sharon! Okay, right, here we go. If you have got a TM7 already, guys, I would love to know what recipes that you are recommending I try, because we have got a whole lot of new recipes just designed for the TM7. Okay, I think that might do me, guys. What do you reckon? It's about right. So let's go back to the recipe. Okay, so now we're going to pop back into our scales and we are going to weigh in 70 grams of room temperature butter. Okay, so this butter's been sitting out for a while. I've just guesstimated this. I hope we're going to be all right. Oh, 80. That's close enough, isn't it? And we're also going to do 50 grams of brown sugar. I might put in 60 just because I got that little bit of extra butter in there. Or 62, it appears. Okay, so we are now going to mix this with some cinnamon. So we're getting 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. Now I hope you guys are all buying your spice from your local Indian supermarket. It is so much cheaper, guys. So 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. 1, 2, 3. And what I'm also going to throw in is a little bit of nutmeg. So in there it goes. I just had a little bit sitting on the bottom of the jar, and actually one of my customers, Wayne, suggested I do this, and I thought, that's a good idea. Use up that little bit of spice I've got sitting there. Oh, Ruth, yeah. Yeah, make it when you get home for afternoon tea. I will put an image up of my finished scrolls on my page, so do come and have a look. So we've got the 50 grams of brown sugar, 70 grams of butter, 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. I've upped mine a little bit. We're going to mix this for 20 seconds at speed 4. I'm not going to bother about cleaning my bowl out. That's all right. So I'm going to touch the seconds, hit the +10 button twice, and speed 4, and play. Now, if you're dealing with really cold butter, or if you're finding that the temperature is quite cold outside, you can also put a little bit of heat on here. So if you were to set your Thermomix to like 37 degrees or something like that, just enough to soften that butter down, we'll see how we're looking. So you see with this one here how the butter is still, even though it's room temperature, still quite cluggy. So for my second one, I think I might just do that. It just means we're going to soften the butter as we go. Because we're only running for 20 seconds, you're not going to actually reach the temperature you set. But, you know, it'll help. So we'll do another 20 seconds. I'll set it to 37, speed number 4, and off we go. How is Manga Whai, the lovely Kelly? Are you having great weather? And I guess if you wanted to, you could also add some other spice in here, like I'm thinking maybe a little bit of cloves or something like that. Oh, that's a bit better, guys. Have a look at that. That's kind of more what we're wanting. So the butter is getting a lot more spreadable. Just going to scrape it down, and then we're going to give it one more round of 20 seconds speed 4, and I'll keep my temperature at 37 just to try and get that butter softened down a bit. The reason I am softening the butter is because we are going to put it on top of the dough, and we don't really want the dough tearing as we're sort of spreading it over. So 20 seconds. 37 degrees, speed 4, off we go. Oh, that's great. Nice to see Auckland finally getting some good weather for a change. So, almost done. So what we're going to do now is just spread our butter, and as you can see it is slightly warm now, so hopefully, oh look at that guys, perfection. And I have actually been told that what you can do if you are spreading something on top of dough is you can put a little bit of flour on the dough, and what that will help you do, it'll help the whatever you're spreading on, just spread a little bit easier. Haven't tried it myself. Oh, look at this guys, it smells absolutely amazing. Now, because I've got a little bit of butter left over in my bowl and it's clinging to my blade, I'm just going to spin that off. So on goes the lid. We're going to run this at speed, I don't know, we'll do 8 for a couple of seconds. Off we go. Stop it. And I don't know if you know this, but if you're not setting the temperature in your Thermomix, you don't have to set a time when you're operating the blade. So if you do just want to randomly guess it, you can. Much better. Look at that, guys. Got all that sugar off that was sitting on top of the blade. Right, so we just want to do a nice even spread. I know this is a very exciting part of the recipe. It does smell really good. And what I'm endeavouring to do is to get it all the way to the edges. And that way when you're eating the scrolls you get a nice even spread. You don't get dry bits. Nice. Oh, look at that. We do also have a lot of classes running at the moment too, guys. So if you are looking at doing an in-person class, check the Thermomix website out. We are actually going to be doing a vegetarian Indian class, and that's going to be on July the 20th, and it's going to be at Te Manawa, which is the Northwest Library. So yeah, great if you guys would like to come along. Tickets are $35, and it's very different from the traditional Indian class. So the lovely Shanaz is running it, and she's got lots of tips and tricks to share with everyone. So yeah, if you're in West Auckland, grab yourself a ticket and come along and join us. I don't normally do this, but oh yum. That tastes just like Christmas or apple pie. Okay. Alrighty, so the next step of the recipe is we are going to spread over that it says to use an apple that remains that remains whole when you cook it. It's recommending Granny Smith. So what I've got here is a large Granny Smith apple, and I've left it, I wouldn't say it's in small pieces, but it's still quite chunky, because I really like when you're eating it to get mouthfuls of apple. So we're just going to spread that over. And again, we're looking for a nice even distribution. Actually, you could probably get away with 2 apples. This was a large Granny Smith, but I'm kind of thinking maybe I could have done another one. But what I am also going to do, I'll just spread that up before I start talking and cock it all up. All the way to the edges, nice even distribution. I'm also going to throw in some walnuts, because walnuts and apple go really well together. Oh, Bev, once you're in dough mode, just click the X on the top right hand corner of the dough mode button. Now I'm not sure how many. I've got buttery hands. I'm just going to grab a small handful of walnuts. And again, I'm just going to have the roughly chopped. Yeah, because I quite like it when you get mouthfuls of crunchiness. And look, walnuts and apples go so well together. It actually says in the recipe you can use it without apples, and it also says you can use it with other fruit. So I guess if you picked a fruit that goes well with cinnamon, yeah, you get a totally different flavour. They do say in the notes that you can use raspberries. So the raspberry cinnamon combination, maybe that's a thing, I don't know. So I'm just going to spread over my walnuts. And again, we just want to make sure we get a nice even distribution. And if you are going to use a dough mat to do this, guys, there is a cool little trick when it comes to rolling this up. So I'll just make some space and I'll show you what that trick is. So what I am going to do is just roll from the long edge. And I'm just going to get it started like this, and then I'm going to pull my dough mat up and use that to help me roll it further. Now you really want a tight roll, you don't want a loose roll. So when you're doing it, put some force down. So push your hands quite firmly down on the dough as you are pulling it across and rolling it. And once you're finished, just give it a good squeeze and get the excess air out of it. Okay. I think that is a nice tight roll. We'll have a look. Cool. Now, as you guys are aware, cool, Bev, good on you. I was actually fluffing around a little bit on the hopes that you could catch up. Because I don't want untidy ends of my dough, what I am going to do is just trim the ends off. So it just means we've got a nice clean end. So we've got nice tidy scrolls. So the recipe says this makes 10 scrolls. So, yeah. So we're going to divide it in half. And each one of these does 5. Okay. 1, 2. Okay, totally miscounted. I've got 9, but that's all good. So following the instructions, what I'm going to do now is place the pieces cut side up into the prepared tin, and it says to allow the sides to touch. Ooh, look at that, guys. They look yummy. Now I do actually have a couple of big ones here, just because I've got 9 and not 10, but that's okay. Wow, that is a tight fit in a 20 centimetre tin. Maybe I should have gone for a 23 and not followed the recipe. That, I'm just going to twist it around like that, like that. Okay, so this is what I've got in mine. Oh, cool, Bev, good idea. So once we've got this done, we are going to bake this for 15 minutes at 210 degrees. Once it's done, we are going to let it cool slightly in the tin. We are going to either mill our own sugar into icing sugar, which is what I'm going to do. And for that, we're going to have 150 grams of icing sugar. I'm actually going to use some lime sugar that, again, my customer Wayne has given me, because I'm thinking lime and apple could be a little bit of an interesting combination. Sounds quite yummy to me. So it's 150 grams of icing sugar mixed in with 3 tablespoons of hot water. You whiz it in to make a slightly runny icing, and then you just drizzle it over the buns. So yeah, it's going to be amazing. But give it a go, guys. I will put up a picture when mine come out of the oven, but I'm actually getting quite excited. It smells amazing. Maybe perhaps when you are making this, the recipe does say 20 centimetre tin, which is what I've used. Maybe try 23, because they are quite tightly jammed in together. But you know, we'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, have a great Sunday. And if you have any questions, please flick me a message and I will put up my finished dish on my Facebook page. Have a great day and don't do anything I wouldn't do. And yeah, hope you're having a great school holidays. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.